about it?
Oh, dude. The fucking crazy shit that went down there. You don't know anything about that, dude?
No, I don't know anything about that.
So, Waterfront was listed in the New York Times as the most dangerous bar in the United States. Because, yeah, no shit.
Here in Bellingham.
Because Ted Bundy confessed to fucking hanging out there and grabbing his victims from there.
Oh. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's right.
Cool. Alright, so those four then, for now.
There's just been... Bellingham seems to be like a waypoint for serial killers. There's been so many fucking serial killers and mass murderers tied to fucking Bellingham.
Yeah, I remember the hillside stranglers from California came here and killed somebody too.
Yeah.
Down at the beach by Cornwall.
The fucking, the guys that were shooting in D.C., the D.C. sniper.
Yeah, that's right.
They were fucking, the kid went to Bellingham High School for a little while. It's, I don't know, maybe, is it because it's so close to the fucking Canadian border? I mean, it's...
Makes sense. Easy to get away.
Not as easy as you'd think.
Yeah.
That reminds me, I'm working on this other little video project where I was actually going around downtown and interviewing homeless people and asking them their opinion on paranormal stuff.
That's a good one.
I got
I'm
some
sure
pretty
a lot of them see
some pretty good answers, and honestly, I got a lot more insight from homeless people than like I was trying to ask, just regular people too, and a lot of them just like had no good answers. But the homeless people, like they really they have a lot more. I don't know. It was just really surprising to hear the information between somebody who works every day and to where somebody who's just on the streets. They just definitely.
I can absolutely get us in with the homeless population in Seattle.
Yeah. We'll see. For me, it's like my dad's homeless here in Bellingham, so that's kind of why I feel like I can talk to homeless people and stuff. And I've been homeless too and stuff, so I know what it's like. But
I mean, we used to fucking stay in squats and shit in Seattle all the fucking time, and you hear some weird shit.
Yeah,
in the middle of the night.
That's what one of the guys I was interviewing. He was saying there was this abandoned church that was here in town, and him and his wife would sleep in it, and they would hear like full on women screaming. When there was nobody around in the building, it was just them. They could hear like full on screaming or like tapping on doors, and there would be nobody on the other side if they checked. Like, just shit like that. So.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's why a lot of the serial killers and everything, and mass murderers and whatnot, and the famous crime, converges here because the Pacific Northwest is notorious for that kind of shit. The outreach to the homeless and everything like that makes a perfect cover. If you don't want to be noticed, you can just blend right in and out, you're good, you're gone. But yeah, they were saying that Waterfront Tavern, like Lee Malvo, and the kid.
That was the snipers.
Yeah, it was the snipers.
Yeah.
They were staying over at the Lighthouse Shelter for a while.
Oh yeah, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just it's funny because people tend to ignore the homeless, so it's albeit a genuinely great cover because nobody really pays attention to you. I mean, really, can you explain the guy that was begging for change on the side of the road? I can't tell you what it looks like.
Yeah. Well, it seems like a lot of people feel like the homeless are just mentally unstable and they're all crazy. I actually talked to this one lady. She wouldn't let me record her, but I talked to her, and she, on the outside, you would just think she's a total batshit crazy lady, but when I actually got to talk to her for a while, she was highly intelligent.
Oh, yeah.
She was just saying shit that was like, wow, like that's the kind of shit I've been reading about, but it takes certain people to really pick up and understand what that shit means.
No, absolutely. I mean, a lot of people too that are on the streets and whatnot, they put up that craziness as a barrier, as an act to keep people from getting too close, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did it.
Oh yeah, no.
I was goddamn notorious in Seattle for raising hell.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm a smart guy. I'm a decent human being, but don't get too fucking close to me because, well, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely like part of when you're homeless, especially. You can't just look like you're weak and let people push you around.
Absolutely. And a lot of that too comes with the train of thought. That's why you would, of course, see other folks like people in suit and tie 9-to-5ers. They're not going to be more open-minded to shit they don't understand.
No, and that's what I got. That was definitely the image I was getting, because I was just asking people even simple questions as what do you think happens when you die? And I got so much more insight from the homeless than people that were, just, the suit and ties. They were just like, oh, you die or you go to heaven and hell. Like a lot of like the homeless, they had a lot. They were more into like explaining. Like a lot of them were like, oh, you get recycled, you get brought back into it, and they were just explaining more and I felt they had more of a connection with death, to where people like that work all the time, they don't think about death. They don't think about what happened.
That's because they generally never had to face it.
People would get uncomfortable. Some would get uncomfortable if I asked them that.
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah, dude.
We all die.
It's going to happen.
Exactly.
It sucks, but in my personal set of beliefs, it's all a cycle, dude.
Yeah, it is.
It is what it is. You just move on. Yeah, I don't understand the train of thought of some folks, man. I really don't.
So I guess let's start on these topics.
Yeah.
Which one you want to do first? The Angel Eyes? Or which one? I don't know.
I put 2 or 3 in the chat. I'm trying to find a good one for the tunnels. But you know about the taverns. You should tackle the tavern.
All right.
Yeah. I guess we'll start with that, and then we'll kind of just discuss and talk.
Yeah. Okay.
Kind of like we were just doing. I guess I was recording. I think. Are you recording too?
Yeah.
So we could go back and cut some of that stuff in too.
Yeah, absolutely. So all right. So the article itself is the New York Times by Charlie LaDuff, October 29th, 2002. Basically, it identifies Bellingham, specifically the Pacific Northwest, as a haven for crime, serial killers, and whatnot. The New York Times did deem the Waterfront Tavern the most dangerous bar in America. It's a good bar that should not be judged bad simply because some customers misbehave so spectacularly. Spectacularly. We'll call it that. Patrons said today, this is what they said in the mid-1970s after Ted Bundy drank here. Mr. Bundy confessed to killing 20 women. They said it in the late 70s after Kenneth Bianchi drank here before he was arrested in the killing of 2 college roommates. He and a cousin, Angela Buono Jr., were later convicted in the Hillside Strangler case in Los Angeles. So that's what you were talking about with Cornwall. Okay.
Yep.
I got you. They said over a year ago, after James Kinney, who also drank here, was arrested in the murder of a woman found dead off the Mount Baker Highway, sadly where I live, he pleaded guilty. Now they're saying John Muhammad, accused in the sniper case, drank here. Mrs. Millie Ulmer was quoted as saying, "I don't know, we just seem to attract them." And of course, it timed out on me because I hate this film. So you can edit that out later, right?
Sure.
Awesome. Yeah. Like, this is proof that Apple sucks. I'm wearing a T-Mobile shirt. Please edit that out. This town is full of drifters, but even so, Muhammad didn't look right to me, little did I know. Bellingham is a jumping-off place to the Alaskan tundra and the Canadian wilds. The area is home to hippies, yuppies, militiamen, fishermen, American Indians, and tramps. People brew applejack in the woods and breed bird dog. Why can't I find any applejack in the woods? That sucks. The tavern opens at 6 a.m. at earliest in town. It is bay windows, cheap paneling, a view of Bellingham Bay. A pint of Budweiser goes for $2 in the morning. That was back in 2002, so don't bombard them with $2 Budweisers. All this is what attracted the other men, say regulars. She say they remember Bianchi and Kinney and recount local Bundy lore. The bar is a stone throws from the mission where Mr. Muhammad and his traveling companion Lee Malvo stayed. Drinks are cheap. Mr. Muhammad drank Budweiser as he whiled away mornings, watching cable news, and the price is right. Thus, proving that Drew Carey inspires people to kill. He looked clean and he was very polite and articulate, said Lynn Farmer, the owner. He always had his own money. He applied for a job, but we threw his application away like we do with all the guys from the mission. That's really kind of shitty.
That is pretty shitty.
That is really, really shitty.
Especially to admit it like that.
Exactly. They're just trying to get a job, better their lives. What the hell?
No, what the fuck?
Wow. Okay.
Damn.
Mr. Muhammad did not try to blend in or adjust his personality to charm the locals as Ted Bundy did. He was belligerent, as fellow patrons say. He railed against the United States and spoke up for the World Trade Center attackers. I wanted to take him outside while he was cheering for 9/11, said Drew Samdelens, who was drinking the morning before he took his boat out to Lake Crab Pots. I had a gut feeling about the guy, and I wanted to kick his head in, and they probably would have put me in jail. They most definitely would have put you in jail. Despite the guest list, people who drink at the waterfront describe themselves as warm, well-adjusted. Perhaps it's their accepting attitude, they surmise, that so many notorious characters feel welcome. Live and let live, says Pete Davis, who is unemployed. Of course, we only know after the fact that they're bad guys. I don't know. Maybe we should name sandwiches after them. So, it seems quite a bit biased.
Just a little.
Just a little bit. But yeah, it's Pacific Northwest, man. There was a time when I was in Texas and I was married to my ex-wife that we would turn on a movie about a serial killer or whatever. I shit you not, 9 times out of 10, Pacific Northwest. And she would always crack a joke about it. She'd be like, oh, well, you lived in Seattle for a while. And I'm like, well.
Yeah, well, I like how the article pointed out it's kind of a jumping point to the Arctic tundra or whatever. Like this would kind of be the last stop. If you're going to do something fucked up, you need to get out. You just
that would be it. Exactly.